Hump day is here, and so are more chances for pop-up shower and thunderstorms. How long is that going to continue, and is the heat dome on the way? Let's talk about it in this Wednesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hey, it's Wednesday, the 25th of June, 2025. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Boldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It's hard to believe Independence Day is next Friday. I can't believe we're already almost to July. Where has the year gone? But alas, it is summertime here in the state of Texas. Some years we're dealing with a constant string of triple-digit days by now. Wow, this year, not so much. That's not to say it's not, warm, hot, humid, but shower and thunderstorm chances certainly are continuing, and we definitely don't see that every summer. Here's the high-res rapid refresh model. Going into this afternoon, you can see, guess what? Pop-up showers and storms isolated to widely scattered, so about a 30 to 40% coverage in spots across the southeastern, really 30 to 40% of Texas. They're already underway across the coastal plain, southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle late this morning at the time of this recording. That activity will slowly spread into the Brazos Valley, even trying to make a run at parts of central Texas, east Texas, and maybe parts of north Texas before activity begins to diminish late this afternoon towards dinner time. Monsoonal moisture created quite a bit of a ruckus yesterday across New Mexico. We had flash flooding around Albuquerque for today. A flash flood watch continues across the borderland of far west Texas, the Guadalupe Mountains, and areas west of the Trans-Pecos. We're going to see additional rain continue out there through today into tonight, with some rain even possible in the Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Bend, with a risk of gusty winds, heavy rain that could cause flooding, street flooding, quick rises on creeks and streams, along with lightning. And you know what, folks? What do we do? When thunder roars, go indoors. We mentioned that about 10 times yesterday, and guess what? We're probably going to do it again today, because that's what we do here, because people keep getting struck by lightning. So it's summer safety. So when thunder roars, go indoors. Going into Thursday, we expect isolated to scatter pop-up showers and storms. Once again, Brazos Valley, Coastal Plain, Southeast Texas, Golden Triangle. Same as today. And the possibility of some rain and a few storms across the western third to the western half of Texas. Tomorrow afternoon into early tomorrow evening, widespread severe weather not expected. But again, all thunderstorms produce lightning. And what do we do when thunder roars? We go indoors. Not under a metal awning, not under a tree. We go indoors. So, what do we do when thunder roars? You got it. Heading into the fire department. Here's the Wildfire Outlook from the Texas A&M Forest Service. Low to occasionally moderate fire danger. Very low potential for larger scale extended attack incidents in the Wildfire Department, thanks to our continued relatively comparatively wet weather. Here's a look at the upper air pattern, the geopotential heights. This is an easy way for us to tell where the heat dome's setting up over the next week. And at this point, you can see today that is set up over parts of the northeastern and eastern United States. Many cities on the East Coast hit triple digits yesterday. The first time in 13 years, Philadelphia hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot and humid out there, but that heat dome begins to break down heading into tomorrow, where they'll see storm chances return. That upper level pattern changing from a eastern ridge to more of a eastern trough scenario across the northeast. What does that mean for us down in Texas? Well, that heat dome's going to try to start nudging its way back towards our direction, especially into the Gulf, southeastern United States, trying to build into Texas. But notice that western trough is also that little dip in that geopotential heights. That's kind of the monsoon look. So it's going to be the battle between two air masses across Texas. It's just going to be a matter of, all right, who's going to be under enough influence of that upper level heat dome to squish thunderstorm chances, and who's not. Now, at this time of summer, this time of year, we have hardly any wind shear aloft. Wind shear being, those westerly winds coming through the jet stream. The jet stream at this point is in the northern United States. It's 800 miles to our north. We have very little winds aloft, which is why when we see pop-up shower and thunderstorm chances here, they typically don't last very long in any given location, and we're certainly not dealing with any sort of supercell mischief at this point. We're not dealing with softball size hail. We're not dealing with tornadoes. We're not dealing with, 100-mile-an-hour winds. Still, storms we deal with in the summer, these popcorn that go up real fast, shoot out a bunch of lightning, rain, and then when they begin collapsing within 45 minutes, they shoot out a lot of wind known as microbursts. Guess what? Those are hazardous too. Those winds can cause some localized tree and power infrastructure damage. And guess what? Lightning. And do you know what we do when there's lightning? When thunder roars, go indoors. I'm going to have to start a counter on that. So over the next week, you could see we're going to start trending warmer. Does that mean rain chances are going to shut off completely? Probably not. Let's talk about it. You can see global forecast system, the long-range American weather model. It keeps the monsoon pattern going through Friday at least across western third of Texas with continuing scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. Same on Saturday. A little less active across the eastern half of the state. We do notice this model has some cloud cover, some precipitation chances along the Gulf Coast. And then going into Sunday, into Monday, you can see this is starting to get a little more rambunctious with precipitation chances across parts of the Panhandle, West Texas, into Oklahoma, kind of on the edge of that upper level heat dome that's trying to establish itself more in the Gulf. But we're also talking 5 to 7 days out, so let's not get too focused on exactly where this is showing those heavier rain chances. But if this is right, on the bright side at least, going into next week, we should at least still have some chance for pop-up shower and storm chances daily. And the reason that's good, well, it's not good if you have outdoor plans, but at the same time, we're not looking at widespread rain. We're looking at isolated, more hit than miss. And also, you get a free cool down for the rest of the day whenever you get one of those showers on you or nearby. Otherwise, it's 110 degrees if, we were into that part of the summer already, which thankfully we're not. Forecast rain totals through 7 a.m. Monday, the 30th of June. You can see, we're starting to see a little more of a pop-up shower and thunderstorm look here across the state. Definitely not looking like your typical heat dome scenario where we have everything completely around us in terms of precipitation. But again, this map showing the heaviest rains across the northern United States, eastern United States, typical. Here in Texas, if you end up under one of these pop-up showers and storms, you could get 2 inches of rain in 45 minutes, but that's certainly not expected to be a widespread thing, and it's more of a, getting lucky sort of scenario. You may get 2 inches of rain, your neighbor may get 0, vice versa. Now, across the borderland, far west Texas, the Big Bend, the Trans-Pecos, up into the Panhandle where we are dealing with more of a monsoonal pattern at this point, rain chances are a little higher, and there's a better chance we're going to see 1/2 inch to maybe 1.5 inches of rain in spots, maybe locally higher. So this is their rainy season out in far west Texas, so enjoy it while it continues. Out in the land of tropical mischief, that system we had developed yesterday, I already forgot its name because it was literally gone within 12 hours, if it was even a system that was legitimate at all. We'll see if it was a number pattern or not, but it looked like a naked swirl on satellite. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, it's gone. It was out in the open Atlantic, not a problem, and we don't expect anything over the next 7 days. We have a lot of Saharan dust, or the better way to think of it is a lot of dry air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere moving across the open Atlantic now from Africa. That's moving into the Caribbean, the Gulf, and that'll probably make its way towards Texas at some point next week, which may present some hazy skies. Temperatures over the next 5 days. This afternoon, highs mostly in the 80s out in the Panhandle, far west Texas, the Guadalupe Davis Mounds, out into West Texas. Everyone else, we're looking at upper 80s to upper 90s. Heat index values probably running between 98 and 104 degrees Fahrenheit in the more humid parts of the state, eastern half of Texas. Going into tomorrow, warmer out west, and then everyone else, guess what? Upper 80s to mid 90s, pretty much where we should be for late June. Nothing abhorrent, nothing like 105 degrees. That's nice. We're not emulating summer of hell yet. Going into Friday, a little warmer. We're starting to see more mid and upper 90s across the state of Texas. And again, the humidity will be highest across the eastern half of Texas. So add about 5 to 8 degrees to the actual air temperatures if you want to know what it's going to feel like. Going into Saturday, we're starting to get closer now into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees in northwest Texas, North Texas, all the way down towards the Rio Grande Plains, the Permian Basin out west. But still, there's nothing that screams, uh-oh, spaghetti-o, crazy hot for this time of year. It's Texas. It's almost July. We're going to start seeing triple digits more regularly, that's for sure. But, we're not doing what we did the last 2 summers yet, where we're doing 105 to 110 every day. Yet. And one benefit of having a more moisture-rich May and June is that it's going to take a few weeks for all that moisture to burn off. The disadvantage is, 1, mosquitoes are going to go nuts, and already are, and 2, the humidity is going to be atrocious. But as we start warming up going into July and August, and assuming we start drying out more, those soil moistures will start coming down. The humidity values will be less atrocious, especially during the afternoon hours. But the consequence is a drier air mass heats more efficiently. We'll start seeing daytime high temperatures rise. Going into Sunday, for example, very near 100 degrees across the DFW Metroplex, 100 mineral wells. We're looking at upper 90s, big country, northwest Texas, Texoma, northeast Texas, 98 degrees in Texarkana. Heat index values are probably going to be near 105 to 108 degrees. 94 to 95 San Antonio, Austin, 95 in El Paso after a string of less hot days with rain this week. About 90 in Houston with heat index values near 100. And, well, that's the general scope of things going into next week. Temperature-wise, 30th of June through the 4th of July, we're looking at that monsoonal look across western Texas, New Mexico. That's helping to keep things a little cooler with the cloud cover and rain chances. Otherwise, probably warmer than... It's going to be warm to hot across Texas and much of the United States. Precipitation-wise... Now, this is not particularly usual for us here in June and July, but also I want to emphasize these pop-up shower and thunderstorm chances we're having. Again, that's the general look we're expecting here. The isolated pop-up afternoon shower and thunderstorm chances, excluding the monsoonal, which is a little more scattered to numerous across the borderland of far west Texas around El Paso, the Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin. So don't look at this map and think, oh no, it's going to be a washout. No. First off, we're not even looking at the 4th of July yet in terms of any sustained weather forecast, besides the fact it's probably going to be hot. And in terms of widespread rain, I'm not betting on it right now. But, of course, we'll see once we get closer. We're still, 9 days away? We'll start looking at that in more detail here by Friday. So that'll be it for your somehow almost 13.5-minute Texas weather roundup in the summer months. Boy, it must be the caffeine. As always, we appreciate everybody who is watching us here on the magical land of YouTube. If you haven't already and you enjoy my really awkward sense of humor, hit that like button. That really helps us out in the magical land of YouTube. And if you haven't already and you'd like to, click subscribe. It's free. Get notified when we publish new Texas weather forecasts and do all sorts of fun live weather stuff when, we have mischievous weather to talk about. Thankfully, unless something radically goes wrong in the next week, that is not expected. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, with your next edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Have an amazing Wednesday. Stay cool. And remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. God bless.